Yo, what is good, guys? How's it going? How's everyone doing? How is everyone doing? It's the end of the week. It's Friday. We're looking for a chill day. Maybe take a couple trades or something. But yeah, how's everyone doing? Ready to make some money? Ready to end the week on a good day? The second week of December, the second full week. Things are starting to get a little bit messy. This week's been a little bit slow. A little bit choppy, I think, really. And that is, because of December, things are starting to die down just before Christmas. Then a few weeks after, things will start to pick up again. But how is everyone doing? Good afternoon, Alex. It's nice to see you here. Good afternoon, Scott, as well. Nice to see you here too. And Dan. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, guys. How's it going? Like up the stream if you're ready to catch some W's. We're about to get into it. Just give it 1 sec. Make sure everyone who is here wants to be here. Hi, Abby. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Right then. Good afternoon, mate. How you doing? Hey, Dal. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, let's get it, guys. We're going to jump straight into the fundamentals. Good morning, Rodrigo. Good afternoon, Rodrigo. I think it's morning for you. Good morning, Rodrigo. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, let's get it, guys. We're going to start with the fundamentals. So fundamentally, there's not really much to worry about, as we've, already discussed. Today is probably like one of the best days of the week fundamentally, really, because, we have one piece. It's not too big. It's not in the middle of the New York session. It's not CPI and it's not PPI. And then, on Tuesday and Monday, we didn't really have any red folder news. So I'd say fundamentally, in terms of like volatility and how easy it will be to trade today, it's a lot easier. This is probably the best day of the week in those terms. But let me quickly just open the stream journal. I almost forgot about that. We're just going to open that and leave that here. As you can see, so far this week, we have had 2 break-even trades and 1 small win. Hey, man, how's it going? And yeah, it's been a rough week to navigate. I think, there's been a few people struggling, but we've been executing the trades. We've been executing when we see the setups. And yeah, it hasn't gone wrong yet. But yeah, so let's jump onto the chart. So let's start with the daily time frame on GBP JPY. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reanalyze it with yous just so it makes a little bit more sense. Now, what's happened here is we've come into the daily fair value gap, took out this high over here, and using simple ARL and IRL, we were due a retracement. So we came up to this imbalance after taking out this high, came up to this imbalance. Why did we come up to this imbalance? That is because we inversed this one and we came up to this one. That's literally as simple as that. We came up to that one because we took out this low. Now, what's going on here is basically we've tapped into a lower time frame fair value gap and bounced straight off of it. So on the daily, we are still looking kind of bullish. We've had this retracement. I'm looking to test this fair value gap a little bit further. I think we will come a little bit deeper. I'm just going to put in the premium and discount zones. You can see the premium is the top half, the discount is the bottom half. The top half of the fair value gap is the best place to look for sells, and the bottom half is the best place to look for buys in bullish fair value gaps. Now, in a bearish fair value gap, we would expect price to come up to here either way. So we are still bullish on that. Now, if we jump to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that we have took out this high. It's literally been the same cycle over and over again here. I'm just going to go over that very, very quickly. With ARL and IRL, we take out this high, form an imbalance, then retrace back into it, take out this high again. We'll take out another high, form an imbalance, come back, respect it, continue up, take out another high, and just continue that cycle. Literally, that's all that happens. Now we've took out this high over here, this one to the left-hand side, then push down to take out the low, which is this one right here. Left behind an imbalance, which we are now inside of. Okay, so we've now took out a low, and we're coming back up to the imbalance, and we're basically expecting price to respect it. Okay. As you can see, we have wicked near enough to the top of that imbalance and respected all the way, straight into the premium zone and straight back out the premium zone. It looks like we might respect it, so I'm going to be wanting to target sells today because we have took this discount sorry, the premium zone. So we would be targeting sells now based on this. Now, if we go to the 1 hour time frame, things will start to make a little bit more sense. I'm not too sure where I've drawn that in. But what we've done is we've come down with AMD, exactly how I said. We got exactly what I said would happen here, guys. We have this accumulation, manipulation, and distribution cycle. You see this manipulation. Good morning, Humphreys. Hope you're doing well. We then took out this low to the left-hand side over here and had a very clear distribution to the upside. And I was actually looking at trades this morning. I was looking to take this high right here. I was looking to take that. Sorry, not the high, the IFVG. When we formed the IFVG, I was looking to trade that, but we came too high. We took the high out over here. So it was then basically an invalid move. Distribution has done its job, because what you don't understand about distribution is it doesn't necessarily have to be something along these lines. Like, it doesn't have to go, all the way down and then all the way up and have a massive move like this. It doesn't have to do that every single time. Sometimes you will see AMD cycles, and it's literally just like, this will be in a higher time frame consolidation. What will happen is we have, the range, the obvious accumulation, stuff like that. Then we manipulate and then we distribute, and that's it. We don't really go much further than that. And then we could reverse and head up in the expansion phase. Now, that's something that happens when we have like a daily or a 4 hour, like the 4 hour will be in a consolidation. Yeah, guys, we'll have a 4 hour consolidation. We zoom into this consolidation here, and you'll see like, 15-minute AMD like this, just like this, and it's basically just loads of these little cycles where it's just going sideways a little bit. Might gap up and do the same thing, might gap down, do the same thing, and that's how it works. That's what happens. Now, when we're in a ranging market, or a moving market, sorry, you can expect price to basically do an AMD cycle like this one. Like, if we go to the 4 hour, you can see we're not consolidating, we're pushing up here. This is like a retracement. We're coming back to this fair value gap. So when there's context with that, you can expect price to actually continue a little bit further, and that's exactly what's happened here. We've had that distribution move to the upside, to the discount zone of that, to the premium zone of that 4 hour fair value gap. And that would be a perfect place to take profit as well, because it's also a 1 hour fair value gap. Now, that would be a perfect place to have a full TP. And what you would do here is look to manage right here. Now, what I like to do is I like to pair this with IFVGs. So we'll have this, and you can see we got the IFVG here, but the candle that disrespected it went to the other side of this range. So when you're trying to get into the distribution move, when it's already took the accumulation range, like the other side of it, like this, it's a bit risky to get in, because we've kind of took that liquidity then, and you'd expect price to retrace naturally back to an imbalance before continuing, or it would just reverse. Now, that's what's happened here. We basically had that IFVG form, but we took out the high of the accumulation range, so it's kind of a little bit messy. You wouldn't really want to enter there. Now, I was looking at that, but I think a few people in the fast track, like, actually, they caught this near enough the entire move up here, so like around about here somewhere. Which was perfect, like a perfect trade. We took the low over here with the manipulation, and then we distributed straight back up. How's it going, Big Deeds? How's Bola? Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Junior. Hope you are all doing well. But yeah, this is a perfect AMD setup. This is exactly what I'd want to see in terms of AMD. But when you look at the IFVG, you can see, literally, let's just look at the IFVG. You see, we take out the low, form the IFVG, but the candle that does it takes out this high over here. And now the thing with IFVGs, and this is why I didn't take this trade, this is like the two reasons, because not only do we not trade it when we come to the other side of the accumulation range, like this, but when we have an IFVG that takes out the high, like the whole way you trade IFVGs, the whole idea about them is that it's very volatile price structure, price action. Now, we'll have, nice price action. We'll form the IFVG over here. Let's say we form it here. And then we come up, and this is the candle that disrespects it. First things first, what validates the IFVG? It is when the candle closes. So when the candle closes, like this one right here, that's when it was a valid IFVG. But the way you trade IFVGs is once we have the IFVG, like this, let's say, What you would want to do is move to break even at this low, and you can target like an external low, like a 15-minute low. Let's say there's one like all the way over here. Let me just draw the arrow. What you would do is target this area, but you'd look to move to break even after we take this liquidity right here. Let's say there's also liquidity there. So when price has done this, it doesn't necessarily have to continue down. Why doesn't it have to continue down? And that is because of ERL and IRL. When we take highs, what do? We retrace back to the fair value gaps. When we take lows, what do? We retrace back to the fair value gaps. So using that, you can go, okay, well, this fair value gap over here was inversed very quickly, which is great, after taking liquidity as well, which is great. But we took out this high here. So what would you expect price to then do? Retrace back to an imbalance or something along those lines before continuing up. Now here, we do continue up a little bit. But, you know, even if you look at the profit target, like this would be the only place you can take profit, really. You don't want to push up here. You don't want to push up here. You want to take profits right here. And if we do that, we're looking at a 0.6 R, even if we took the trade. Now, the two reasons not to take the trade was, one, because we took out the other side of the accumulation range. That's supposed to be a 1. And 2, with the IFVG, we took out the next high, which is when you would look to manage the trade, move to break even and stuff like that, to try and catch the continuation. So it just becomes very, very risky when you're taking a trade like this, not only because of the negative R, but because of the lack of probability along with that, due to the fact that we took the AMD, we took the accumulation, sorry, and also the IFVG took the high. So that's two reasons there for you, why I didn't take this trade. Now, we have come to the profit target, so we can really look for sells. Like this aligns, as I said, to take sells. The only issue with that is we've got an unmitigated bullish fair value gap right here, and I'm going to move on to exactly another trade setup that I have spotted right here. Now, if we go to the 15 and just look at this, you can see that we had a massive displacement to the upside. We traced to this imbalance near enough and then boosted straight back up off of this. Took out the high right here, as you can see, perfect. Came into the discount zone, looking to respect this 4-hour fair value gap, perfect. And we also formed a bullish fair value gap on the 15-minute time frame right here, which we inversed. And I was waiting for price to disrespect this one without taking out this low. So what I wanted to see for this trade was price closing down here before taking out this low. And what I can do then is, the reason I didn't enter at this one is because we had an unmitigated fair value gap in between, you know, our take profit and our entry, which is not something you'd want to trade through. And this is exactly why. But not just because of that, it's because if we inverse this one, then obviously you'd expect price to continue down. But if we inverse this one and took the low first before the candle closed, that wouldn't be a valid setup. Why wouldn't that be a valid setup? Because, like, you know, the exact same reason this wasn't a valid setup, because we'd already took the high, and that's where you'd expect price to retrace before continuing and stuff like that, and then it could potentially reverse, form that IFVG on a very low time frame, and head to the previous low or high. So applying that on this, you can say, okay, so we didn't invert this, which is obviously the first reason, but if we did, I'd want price to close right here without taking out this low, because then we can have our stop loss, you know, maybe like here, just above this fair value gap, which is this one right here, which is valid then. And then obviously place your take profit, your stop loss just above here, your take profit goes at this low over here. And I sent this into the Discord. I was like, this looks like a good setup, but we didn't follow through with it. And I didn't take the trade because I was waiting on this candle to close. Now, if it did close like this without taking this low, I would have took the sell and moved to break even right here, and it would have been a break even trade anyway. But you can see how this has played out. We've barely disrespected this imbalance. We kind of just, you know, trailed through, like stumbled through the fair value gap, if that makes sense. Like, you know, we just kind of pushed through, rejected, pushed through, rejected, pushed through, reversed, rejected, pushed through, took the low, reversed, and you know, we've headed up. Now, what's happened here is another form of ARL and IRL. So we can completely, you know, we can just delete all of this. We do not need any of this. We're going to keep that. But we do not need any of this really at the moment. So what's going on? We're respecting that 4-hour bullish fair value gap. We've just took a low here to the left-hand side. You can see that. And what do we do after we take a low? We reverse back and, come to IRL. So now we are at IRL. What we can do, really, is if price disrespects this fair value gap before doing what? Taking out this high, we can look for buys. But why wouldn't we look for buys? Because of the bias. So what I'm saying here is, if price disrespects this, it would be an alright setup if we had the bias as well. But we don't have the bias. We have a bearish bias. We want to be looking for sells here. So we could look for signs that price is going to respect this imbalance. And I think we might have a 5-minute AMD cycle. Let me just check. We do have a 5-minute AMD cycle, but we do have that manipulation to the downside, unfortunately. As you can see right here. That would be another reason not to get in. But you can see we have, the exact same thing I said on the 1 hour that I didn't take. We have the same type of AMD setup here. Straight down, straight back up. So we would be waiting for a consolidation really here. The price action isn't the best to take a trade at the moment. We've had a few moves, but they haven't been in our confluence. We've stuck back, we've stayed back, we've had the discipline to not force these trades, regardless of if it's the end of the week or not. But what I'm saying is, we've took this low over here, and what do we do once we take ERL? The low here is ERL, so what do we do once we take ERL? We come back to IRL. The IRL here is this imbalance that's formed right here, and we either respect it, don't we, and continue down to take the low, and then retrace, and so on and so forth, or we disrespect the imbalance and then continue up to take the high, like this one over here. But the reason we wouldn't want to trade this IFVG setup is because we're inside of a bearish 4-hour fair value gap. So until we close outside this range on the 4-hour, until we close outside here on the 4-hour time frame, this whole set, we can't take buys. We can only take sells. So it kind of disqualifies this setup, which means we'll have to kind of wait for another one on GJ. What we're going to do is we're going to make our way through Bitcoin, Gold, GU, and EU, and basically do the exact same thing we've just done. Although I haven't really seen any setups apart from Gold. That's why I had this in the, this thing here. But yeah, no real setups on GJ, and that is why. I hope you understand everything I've just said there. If there is one question you have or one thing you do not understand, for the sake of your trading career, it's very, very important that you ask me, or you're just going to be confused. You're going to build on that confusion. You're going to start applying tools you don't understand, and you're just going to go down a very, very bad route. But let's move on to Bitcoin. Head and shoulder pattern forming right now. Yeah, exactly. That's another confluence against us that contradicts us. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Hope you're doing all right. Right, first things first, guys. We need to look at yesterday's trade. So we took a trade yesterday. Very, very volatile. And I targeted this up here. This was the original scenario. Stops just below here. So we could have held. But as you can see, I took break even here. I moved break even and closed 50%. I took like 1/4% right here. Not much at all. So we can get rid of that. And what's happened here? So we've inversed this imbalance right here. That's when I took my position on this candle. Then we moved up, took out this high to the left-hand side as well as this high right here. And that's when we formed a bullish fair value gap, and that gave us a little bit of protection between our entry and our TP, which is over here. So I moved my stop loss to break even because we had that protection. We then inversed that, came down, didn't really take out the low, but we formed a bearish fair value gap inside of that right here. Inversed it, and then continued up to take the high. Now, we could have took a re-entry here, but what I want you to understand is me getting stopped out, wherever I got stopped out, like at my entry, around about here, was not a bad thing at all. Although I could have held the trade and took a win, the price action here was just not, was not right at all. Like, what do you do when you inverse a fair value gap? You target the lows, don't you? That's the whole idea of it. We inverse this bullish fair value gap and target the lows. We did not come to the lows at all, so this didn't play out properly. So based on the analysis and based on the assumption that price was supposed to be normal, we would have expected price to actually come out and take that low. So I moved to break even there, but that didn't happen. We reversed, and you could have took a re-entry here, and that would have made perfect sense as well, with your stop loss a little bit lower than usual, maybe over here if you're a little bit late to the party. But yeah, you know, you could have re-entered here and took the high. We did end up taking the high exactly how I said we would, and then what did we do? We formed an IFVG right here and continued all the way down. But that's that trade out the way. We don't really need to look at that anymore. What we can do is go to the daily time frame on Bitcoin and do the exact same thing we've just done on GJ, seeing what, why did it put me over there, seeing what's been going on. So on Bitcoin, we took out the high like I said we would the other day. If you watched this week's stream, you will see me saying that we will take out this high at some point, as this one to be specific. Now we've done that, formed an imbalance on the way to do that, and now we've kind of tapped into that imbalance and bounced off of it. I would have expected price to push a little bit deeper than that, but you know, we also have the IFVG here. But yeah, it's like I'd expect price to push lower, so we're going to leave that. It's a little bit mixed because we do have the bullish one, which we have respected after taking liquidity, but we haven't really respected it as much as I'd like to. So we're going to move to the 4-hour time frame and see what's going on there. Now on the 4-hour, this makes a lot more sense because we get rid of this and you can just go right here, and you can see that we have come in a little bit better and respected that imbalance and now continued up. So what we'd expect price to do now is come up and take these highs, which would be 102,613.95. So you'd expect price to push up based off of this analysis on the 4-hour. What do we do here, guys? We literally take out this high. You know, we take out a few highs here, to be honest, but we take out that high. We take out this one over here. And we also take this one out. We then come back to this imbalance we formed, respect it, and continue up. So we just get rid of this. So now we've respected that imbalance. We go to the 1-hour time frame and see what's going on there. So we've got a bullish bias on Bitcoin at the moment, but we've just come into a bearish fair value gap on the 1-hour time frame. And we've got two, really, but we've got all right price structure. You know, it's not the best, but I guess it's all right. We've inversed this here and then continued up. Took out this high over here and just continued up as well. What have we done here as well? On the 1-hour time frame, what have we done? We've took the lows right here, come down, formed an imbalance, and now we're inside of that imbalance. So you wouldn't really want to trade this at all because we're inside the imbalance. We got two of them as well. So it's a little bit messy here with this and with this. So you'd expect price to invert this. I'd say usually if price inverts this, then you could take the buys up to the highs. Buys up to the highs. But there is that bearish fair value gap stood in the way. So really, if we're going to take buys and target the highs, excuse me there, guys, sorry about that. What you'd want price to do is come up to these highs over here. This fair value gap over here, inverse it, and then look for a retracement or something like that, and then get in over there. But yeah, it's a little bit messy. You don't really want to trade this at all, so I'm just going to write this off and move on to gold. Now, on gold, what's the bias? Bias is bearish because we're coming down to this imbalance. I said this would happen, guys. Like, I've said this was going to happen for days now. I said we were going to come up to the highs, and then when we came up to the highs, I said price would come down to this imbalance. And what has it done? It's took the high and come to the imbalance. So we're looking for price to push a little bit lower on this. This is a perfect bearish bias still. Where do we go? Right. Now on the 4-hour time frame, what's happened here is we have took the low out right here. Formed an imbalance. And we expect price to push up to this imbalance, respect it, and then continue down. So the bias is a little bit mixed here. We're going to see what's on the lower time frames, see what they align with. But right now it looks a bit mixed. The daily saying we're going to continue down into this. The 4-hour saying we're due a retracement. Let's see what the 1 hour is saying. Now on the 1 hour, we've took the lows, retraced, and took the lows again after respecting the fair value gap. It's literally so simple, guys. Like, let's draw this out. We take out these lows here. We then have this imbalance right here. We take out the lows, form the imbalance, respect the imbalance, and continue down to take out the lows again. So you would expect price to retrace, but we do also have these lows over here, which I'd look for price to take out. I think they're near enough equal lows as well, which gives us a little bit of a bearish edge on that. Now, on the 15, we took out the lows and we're looking to retrace to the imbalance. On the 5 minute, we've got an IFVG formed right here. So if price can retrace a little bit for us, we can actually take an entry. We've literally just missed an entry on this, guys. If price retraces, I'm going to take this. Here we go. I'm going to take this. Let's see what the R is on this. Right. I'm not in it yet, guys. Right. Let's see what the 1 minute is saying. So we took out the highs on the 1 minute. Not really got any fair value gaps, but we have retraced on this. We haven't took out the highs yet as well. We took these ones out, but I'm targeting this up here. We got this fair value gap here for the people that can't see that. Right, let's get it. Right. Not in it yet, guys. TP would be 2,664,843. They're not equal lows. Right, I'm in. Alright, let's get it, guys. So we got the IFVG right here. Let me just put my stop loss. Right, I'm risking 0.5% on this. Now, we're looking to take out this high over here. Move to break even. And TP would be this high up here, but usually, you know, I target this high, but we've got a fair value gap just above it. So let's take this trade now, guys. We're going to see how this plays out. We've been moving down all day. I think we are due a bullish retracement, at least to take out this high over here. We're going to give it a try. We're going to see how it goes. 0.5% on this. Let's see if we can end Friday with a banger or not. But yeah, let's get it. Now, whilst this plays out, I'm going to just put an alert just below this. And this. And this. Right, we've got the new hour open here. Right, we've got a few alerts here set up just whilst we're looking at other pairs. I want to have a quick look at GJ. As I said, yeah, GJ is looking bearish here. I don't know what the setup we were looking at was. I think we were looking at this IFVG right here, which we ended up respecting this fair value gap right here. Looks like a BPR too. Now, it is, but you can see we've respected that and pushed straight down off of it. On Bitcoin, we've pushed straight up. I'm not too sure what the analysis was on this. I completely forgot, not gonna lie. Now, you see that IFVG there? Let's look at gold. Oh my days, gold's flipped. That was quick. Okay, we're going to watch gold now. It looks like it's getting a bit of movement here. We might be liquidity. We might become the liquidity right now. That was not below it. Just above it. That's annoying. That's all because I thought I had that right on the dot, but it wasn't. Oh well, we're going to see how this trade plays out, guys. We're in it. We're going to see how it goes. 0.5%, either down the drain or helping us make some profits here. We've got the IFVG set up. The only thing was the bias is a little bit mixed. And we do have that liquidity right here. We might become liquidity. I don't want to adjust my stop loss. That's not something I'm doing. Yep, I knew you were going to say that. I knew that was coming, guys. I knew that was coming. I am part of liquidity here. Well, that was a mistake, I'm not going to lie. And you've seen that. You see my live reaction to that. That was because I thought we were just below it based on this line. You know, and it's usually straight, but that's very annoying. Let's see if we reverse after these lows here. Happy to hear it, Humphreys. Nice work. Happy you're walking away with a dub off of that move down on GJ. Nice work. Let's see if we can follow through now, guys, with this W on gold. Have a good rest of your weekend, Humphreys. You well deserved. You've been here near enough every day this week, I think. Keep it up. I'll see you on Monday, but let's see how this trade goes. Not looking the best, guys. Not going to lie, that's a really sloppy mistake on my end with that stop loss placement. I thought it was a little bit below the liquidity. And it was not. That's very annoying. Yeah. Yeah, I have managed my risk anyway. There's no point. I'm going to let this play out. It's 0.5%. Pushing back up a little bit now. Doesn't really have a bottom wick though. That's the only thing that's annoying about this. See? I knew he'd flip on that. As I said, I'm holding until one of these has been hit, I think. Let's see what we can do. Let's just go look at something else for a sec. Bitcoin could be the move. Could be the move. Target this low over here. On the 5, this one. How would this look? Right, looks like gold might be pushing back up a little tiny bit. Although it may be respecting it. I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. Right. Come on. I want to see this Bitcoin trade. This looks good too. I think if we can get a close literally like right here, this can play out nicely. I think that arm might be a little bit negative. So we'd have to get a close like that. If we push straight down, take out the low, I'm not going to take this, but we got a little setup appearing on Bitcoin. If we can just push up a little tiny bit and close around about here in the next 2 minutes. Here we are. Let's see how this works. I don't want to go below a 1R. Right then, let's see what the 1 minute's talking about. Bit indecisive on this. That's the 5 with no bottom wick there, guys. This is what I'm talking about. It's a little bit risky here. This is literally OHLC playing out on a lower time frame. So we have the candle, and what we'll do is we might push up all the way like this, but typically we will push straight down and just do that. Now, what you don't want to do is get in for buys when you see price like this, especially when it's open. It's very, very risky because what can happen is price can just flip and go down. to create that bottom wick and then continue all the way down to make the low, come up, make the close, and then you've got a bearish candle when you've just got in on what you thought was an extremely bullish one. But yeah, we're going to see how this plays out. I'm in the trade already, so it does not really matter to me whether or not. There we go. It flips. I was literally just about to say that. And then it flipped. That's what I'm talking about. Now we've got the low on the candle. If we push up again, that would make perfect sense, but it looks like it's going to play out to be a bearish one here. Let's see how this plays out. But yeah, that's why you don't want to trade candles that are open with no bottom wick, because this can happen and we just flip. And now it looks very bearish. It looks like that Bitcoin as well. I was keeping an eye on that percent. It looks like it didn't respect it, so we can't really take that now. It was looking like an alright setup, but then obviously we closed respecting it, so I'm just going to completely leave that now. Gonna let this gold trade play out. As I said, I made a little bit of a mistake here with my stop loss. I thought that the liquidity was just above it, but I misplaced the line and based my stop loss on that misplaced line, therefore misplaced the stop loss. Here we go. That's probably us talking now, guys. We're going to look for another setup after this, see if we can make it back, if there's anything good available. If not, we're just going to end it. But let's leave this. We're going to put an alert here. And we'll come back to this. Now, Bitcoin pushing up. I don't think there's any real setup on this at the moment. GBP USD pushing down as well. Not really the best price structure to take any trades. I think the EU is probably similar. Yeah, it is. USD JPY, pretty much the same thing. And GJ, pretty much the same thing inversed. We've took this low out. If we do form an IFVG here, we could look at taking the buy, but I wouldn't really want to do that. We took this liquidity out over here as well. I think, as I said, we would. Let's see this now. If we get an IFVG here, we could take a buy up to the high, although it's a little bit risky. Yeah, it's not really the best setup. I don't think I'd take this. There we are. We just took the high out on Bitcoin again. I think that was from the other day, though. Gold. Kind of got equal lows here. Probably going to take that out now. Got that 1 minute fair value gap, which we have just tapped into. So that looks like it may be us down out now with that push. There we go. That's probably us took. But the same way I spoke about that 5 minute with no top, no bottom wick, this 1 minute has no top wick and it's just opened. So what could happen is we flip, make that wick, and then continue up, and then we have a bullish candle close. There we go. Really though, if we're going to get anything, we need that IFVG formed very, very quickly on here. Come on. We have technically took that low out too, which kind of explains the retracement. We need this IFVG, this fair value gap right here. We need that to become an IFVG very, very quickly if we're going to get anything out of this trade. Very indecisive. See how this is opened? OHL, there we go. See, I didn't even have time to explain it, but you could see how that happened. We had the low, no top wick, we flipped, and we've pushed straight up. Let's see if we can inverse this now. We need that inversion. Give us the inversion in this candle, please. Come on. We have just tapped into the discount zone of the bearish fair value gap, which is what? The best place to look for sells. So if we don't invert it, that could explain why, but I think we might be trying to. Let's see how we go with this. We need to push up. Come on, GJ. Sorry. Come on, gold. There we are. See. Best place to look for sells. The top of the bearish fair value gap. Looks like we're respecting that now. And then we flip down. Very strongly respected. There you go, see, the candle's open with no top wick, so we could expect price to actually flip and make that. There we go, literally as I finished the sentence we did that. None of this means shit when your stop loss placement is this. Completely misplaced. That's so annoying there, guys, but looks like we got the direction wrong, to be honest with you, anyway. We're going to see how this plays out. We might be in for the same routine as last Friday, sorry. If you remember last Friday's trade, we took a trade last Friday and we basically just consolidated. We had a little bit of a move and then consolidated the whole time. We closed on Monday opening, but winning, sorry. We won the trade if we held, but we just consolidated for the whole day after the trade, and it looks like this might be starting to happen now. We have respected that fair value gap. We look to invert it in this candle. If we don't invert it in this candle, it's pretty hard to have any more hope. There you are, you see this? Okay, couldn't even say, but keep an eye on the next candle, guys, because if it opens with no wick on either side, or one side, you can expect it to flip. That literally just happened again there. Let's see how down I am. We are respecting that imbalance, and we're doing nothing here. Okay, so we are down literally just under 0.25%. I think I tried to risk, I eyeballed it, I'm not going to lie. I tried to risk 0.5%. It looks like it might just be a little bit under that. But we are down just under 0.25% right now. Floating just under 200. Sorry, 125. All right. Let's see how we react to this imbalance now. If we don't inverse it on this candle, I'm going to close. Yeah, if we do something like that, I'm going to close. $20 seconds left. Very strongly respected that. Alright then, I'm out. Not too bad. And then we push up. But yeah, not the worst. It was a horrible stop loss placement. That's my mistake there, guys. But we closed here. We're gonna journal the trade now. Get rid of these alerts. We don't need these. Right. So we closed here. Right. What's going on with this? Right, so we just got took out. Well, we didn't get took out. I closed there, just on the 0.25%. We risked just under 0.5% on that trade. Right. Okay, we can probably do it now. It's just lagging. Right, that's annoying. It's not the best way to end the week, but nevertheless, we took what we seen. The issue with that stop loss annoyed me very much, but it does look like we got the direction wrong anyway. And as I said, the bias was mixed, so closed here. What was it? 0.25%. Just under 0.25% loss. What was the bias? It was mixed, wasn't it? Mixed bias. So there we are. We avoided that. We avoided losing 0.5% on that trade, which is all right. That was a very big mistake from me. I don't know what that was, but yeah, we move. It was a mistake. Like, you know, that's all I can say, really. Oh well, we move on to the next one. Now, I think that's everything there we've journaled. Now we go into the journal and, what is it? So it's the 13th of the 12th. We were on gold. Have we traded gold before? Yeah, we did. The first trade we took was on gold. The bias was mixed, same as yesterday on Bitcoin. We took a sell this time. There we go. And the R that we closed with was 1.82. We lost that trade. It was an IFEG setup. Mixed bias, so it was a bit iffy. Now, let's just reanalyze this. Daily was bearish. We took a buy, sorry, we did not take a sell. closed early, managed early. We'll call it managed early. Managed, closed early. And what was the loss? It was 0.25, just under. So we'll call it 0.2% loss. Just a picture of the charts. Oh shit, it's not an image, it is a link. It was a good setup. We did have the confluences. I'm going to recap that in a sec. Right, okay. So right now we have an 80% win rate, 1.56 average risk to reward ratio. We've had 6 wins, 2 losses, and 2 break-even trades. And you know, it was this week. We took, what, 5 trades this week, is it? No, 4 trades this week, 9th, 10th, the 12th, and the 13th. I think we've ended the week break-even, which isn't really an issue, but it was a difficult week to navigate. It's December, first of all. Historically, a hard month to navigate through with the markets. And then also the fact that there's CPI and PPI as well. So there's 2 things there against us this week, and we tried our best. We took the setups that, you know, were there. Apart from that one issue with the stop loss on that trade that I just took, we didn't really have any mistakes made in any other trade. We took what we seen, we took what fit our plan, and yeah, it played out how it played out. We managed accordingly, walked away with a break-even week. Yeah, not really the best outcome, obviously, but we move. We see how it goes now. On this setup, the reason I took this setup, guys, was because we took the low over here. We took this low out over here. Formed an imbalance on our way to take the low, which was this one right here. If we just zoom into that, I think I can get rid of this now, can't I? We formed that imbalance on our way to take the low. We then inversed that imbalance right here. We were a little bit late. I wanted that retracement, so we got in, you know, like around about here somewhere, I think it was. Like right there, yeah. And it's literally the same setup we've seen on all the other things, just targeting this high and this high and this imbalance up here. We got the IFVG. We got the liquidity sweep just before the IFVG. The only issue I'd say is that the daily was bearish. The daily was bearish. The daily was saying we were going to come deeper into this fair value gap. And we basically just didn't listen to that. Now, the reason we didn't listen to that is because on the 4-hour time frame, we had a bit more bullish energy. I do also think we should have waited to take out this low, to be honest. But we took out this low here, formed this imbalance, and you would expect price to then come up and retrace to that. But, you know, the drawn liquidity was here, so mistake in getting into that trade. Every other part fit our plan. We had the IFVG for our entry. We had the 5-minute liquidity sweep for our entry. We had these highs here, which we would target. We had this imbalance as well. The only issue, I would say, was that liquidity right there and the stop loss placement. Other than that, it was a great trade. I'd say, you know, it's a decent trade. It's an all right trade. It's not the best. It's not good. It's decent. We tried it, it failed, and we move on to the next one. You know, you don't win 100. You don't win every single trade when your win rate is 80%. You know, no one has a 100% win rate. And I want to remind you that as well. If you've had a difficult week trading, it's all about your psychology and what you focus on. Here we could focus on the fact I lost and, you know, my account balance went down a little bit and, you know, and be sad about that. But the reality of it is, last week we had a great week. This week we've had a break-even week. Like, you know, last week we had what? All winnings. I think we lost one trade, but we had a 2-hour trade win, 1.8 win, 1.7 win, 2-hour win, and then a partial win as well. And one loss last week, which was this 1.2, which we closed early and lost 0.1%. So we had a really good week last week. We've had a break-even week this week. So yeah, what I would say to this, just be a little bit careful. I think my mistake in this was ignoring the daily time frame. But other than that, the setup was great. Other than that one simple thing, which has led us down to this, and obviously then becoming liquidity. But yeah, have I always traded IFVGs, or is that more recent? I have always traded IFVGs, just sometimes the way I teach them. So when I first started teaching it, like the greatest setup you will see is this. It's always this accumulation, manipulation, distribution. But the way it works is this is sometimes just an IFVG setup, and it looks like this on a lower time frame. And that's literally it. Like, we'll have the IFVG right here, and that's a perfect setup. I've always traded IFVGs and fair value gaps and liquidity and AMD, but I've been teaching it a little bit differently recently. I haven't been trading it differently. I've just been teaching it differently because what I was focusing on teaching was my AMD setup. But now I'm also doing this as well. It's all about getting better at teaching and figuring out the best way to teach people things, because that's what my goal is here. So, you know, it's just progression, I guess. Like, I used to teach support and resistance as a whole, and I would use fair value gaps and liquidity on my own. Like, in the course, Dan, you will see about support and resistance, because I used to teach that still, even though I would use fair value gaps and liquidity anyway, and support and resistance. So what I'd say is, yeah, I've always used it. I've just been teaching it a little bit differently, find out the best way to teach people things. But yeah, no worries. Yeah, great week for you, Dal. And Scott, no worries. No worries, Dan. Happy I can help. Now, yeah, guys, I think there's not really any setups appearing anywhere else. You know, there was this one which would have looked alright, but you see how this is AMD as well, Dan. But, you know, this one could be as well. Like, if we get this IFVG, you could also trade this. We could look at re-entry here, actually, and trade this, I think. We could look at a re-entry here, guys. I don't know if I should risk it, though. It does look great. We've got that liquidity taken now. We've done the daily. We could retest this. What do we think? We'll see how it goes. Let's see how this 1 minute closes. But yeah, as I said, like, you know, it's what you focus on. We've had good weeks. We've had bad weeks. This week wasn't necessarily a bad week. It was a break-even week. We haven't really lost anything. We haven't lost anything technically. We're up 0.05%. We've had a great week. We've had a bullish week, or, you know, we've had a winning week. But it's all part of the game, I think. You know, you just move on to the next one. Completely forget about it. And that's what we're going to do. We're just going to completely forget about this. There's not really any mistakes made there, apart from ignoring the daily time frame. Other than that, we followed our plan to a T, and just, that was probability. Now, I think we might be looking at another setup here on gold. We'll see how this 1 minute closes. Where's GJ gone? Have I deleted GJ? Where's it gone? There we go. GJ has took that low out now. Gold just pushed up. Gold has got that IFVG now on here. What's the 15 say? 5 minute. Took up this low. Do a retracement as well. The 1 minute. Pushing straight back down. We could look at another setup here, guys. We could look at a re-entry here. Let's see. How would this work? So we'd manage this trade right here. We could even just target this high up here, and that would make sense as well. Tell you what, guys, I'm going to get in this. Entry was a little bit higher, like here. We're going to do full TP up here. 2664 and 678. And I was going to put my stop loss down here, but it looks like we might be coming up to take this now. If we do come up and take this, I'm going to put it just below the low on this candle here. So I'm going to leave that for 1 sec and see how this candle, it looks like it's about to push up, so we're going to do that now. Actually, it's another 0.5% as well, guys, so I think this would be about a quarter again. There we are. Okay, so we took this high out now. I would usually put my stop loss here, but we've just managed it because we just took out this high as I entered. And now full TP is up here, although I might just end up targeting this one, I think. What would that R be? Yeah, we're going to do that, guys. We're going to target that. I'm just going to put my TP here. I think this will give us, this will put us back up just over just over 0.25% for the week. I think it's almost 0.5% for the week if this trade plays out. We got TP of 26661 or 2661. Sorry. Let's see how this plays out. So we've just took this high. I've then technically managed the stop loss. Once we come to this one, I would be break even, but I think I'm just going to see if we can hold straight to TP. Rather than moving break even here and then targeting this high, I'm going to see if we can just walk away with a full TP hit right here. Because we do have AMD. If we look at this, this is what I'm talking about, Dan. Like, we do have AMD. If it lets me draw it out. Right here. With this here, with this manipulation and an IFVG on that manipulation. So what we're doing basically is doing an AMD trade, but the best, as I've said, Dan, as well, I think if you're still here, like basically the best AMD setups will come from this type of thing where we form the inverse fair value gaps, and the best IFVG setups will come when we've got AMD with it as well. So we're going to see how this goes. Let's see if we can redeem ourselves before we head out. Looking for a very quick push up to the top of this range. Let's see what we've got on the 1 minute. We do have this fair value gap on the 1 minute, which we may retrace to. Although I think, have we took this high out? Oh yeah, we have. Just about, I think. Let's see how this goes, guys. I'm looking for a very quick push now. Off gold, no messing around. Straight towards this TP here. We've just took the other side of the accumulation range here. Looking to go to this high specifically. I'm going to go break even now though. So we are risk free in this trade now, guys. 2657 was my entry, near enough. So I'm break even on this. I've got full TP, just over 0.5%, I think it gives us. Oh, sorry, 0.25%, I think it gives us. Yeah. We'll make back a little bit over what we lost. We're already over what we lost. If this wins, we'll be a little bit more over. Which will put us back up almost 0.5% for the week. Let's see how this goes. There we are. Nice. Nice. I think original TP was down here. Nice work, guys. We got. Let's journal this now. There's not really much to journal. There's literally just the screenshot of the trade, I think. Other than, you know, adjusted stops here. W, nice work, guys. W, nice work. Nice work, Camille. Nice work, Alex. Break even here. Yeah, that was a mistake I made on the first trade. We redeemed it with the second one. We're now up almost 0.5% for the week, which isn't bad. Looks like it was a decent TP too. We're rejecting right off that. But I'm going to journal this trade now. Let's just put it in. Right, so gold. The bias was more bullish now because, as I said at the start of that trade, we didn't really have that daily thing that we needed to take care of. Appreciate you, Hasbulla. Yeah, we came down to that fair value gap. Like, the whole reason we kind of lost this trade is because we came down to that fair value gap. We wanted to come down to that fair value gap, and I ignored that wrongly. But then we came down a bit further, pushed it down, took out that low that I marked out to the left-hand side, which is where I put my stop loss just above the low, like an absolute idiot, simply just because I misplaced the liquidity line. Now, we've took that out, we reversed, we got that AMD and IFVG set up, like the candlestick pattern, like that's what I mean. Like, when we form that candlestick pattern, that's when we'll typically have an IFVG. See? But the R here was 1.15. We did go for a greedier TP, but I wanted to take profit there for multiple reasons. So we did take that. We got a W out of that. 82%. We got AMD, really was the main focus of that trade. It was AMD plus IFVG, similar to the one we took on Monday. We got a bullish bias, daily finished retracements. Again, with the images, it's the links. Come on. Looks like that was a good TP placement too. Right. So, I think I'm going to call it a day there, but in total now we have had how many trades? We've took 11 trades since starting this journal. 7 of them have been winners, 2 of them have been losers, and 2 of them have been break even. So in only 2 out of 11 trades, we've lost money. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it there, guys. I've journaled that trade now. I'm literally just going to do this for the week. There we go. That's what I like to do. Every single week, I go through all my charts and just remove the entire analysis, and I reanalyze them again on Monday. And that's what I'm going to do now. I've gone through all my charts. I'm going to just get rid of all the analysis. And yeah, we're staring at blank canvases now. And we'll see that updated on Monday. We'll see the new market outlook. But yeah, guys, W stream, I think. You know, we had a loss, a big mistake by me, unfortunately. We came back, we avenged it, got the W, and we're back up almost 0.5% now for the week. Not much more than break even, I'm not going to lie. But it's a winner. We're going to end the week on a winner. And yeah. W in the chat, Camille. W Alex. W Haswilla. W Dal. And yeah, have a good weekend. Have a good weekend, Dan. You too. And Alex. Happy I can help you guys. If you like the stream, you know what to do. Like the button. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I've got nothing else to share now. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend. Journal. Make sure you've journaled all your trades. Make sure you're reviewing your journal. Make sure you risked appropriately in every single trade. Make sure you do some back testing, half an hour a day, I'd say, before you burn out. Make sure you're reviewing those journals. And yeah, other than that, have a good weekend. Have a great weekend. You've worked extremely hard, I'm sure. You really do deserve it. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Take care. Have a good weekend. And make sure you rest. Have a little break from the charts. Maybe do a little bit back testing on Sunday, just before the week starts. But next week is the last full week of doing streams. So make sure I see you there. We're ending the streams for like a 4-week break on the 20th. So make sure I see you in Monday's stream and all of the next week's streams. Other than that, though, we had 1 loss, 1 win. We're up for the week. It's a W day, I'm not going to lie. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Take care. Have a good weekend. And make sure you take some rest. Other than that, that's me done.